Hi, folks. Inspired by the last one, which there was some JLA and Justice League talk, I pulled out the box that has nothing but Justice League comics in it. So, let's dive in. What do we have here? Look at that. How awesome is that? This is Justice League number 42, which based on the condition and price of 12 cents, this is probably maybe a 1967 or 66 issue. Maybe a little bit later, but it's definitely in that realm. It's an older issue for sure. But,
what were you about it treating your comics well when you
no,
were...
I mean, the comics weren't really thought of as being collectible at the time. So, I mean, I might have acquired this somewhere else, but this is number 44. I think most collectors would agree that even in these conditions, they'd still be pretty cool to have. That's number 46. Yeah, this one's not bad, especially for the age. Number 47. So it's a cool checkerboard pattern at the top that DC was working with for a while. Here is an 80-page giant. World's greatest superheroes, which really means there are probably like 4 or 5 reprint stories in here, but hey, that's okay. And they jacked up the price to 25 cents. What a ripoff, man.
Huh.
Especially in the 60s. Great stuff though for us to look at now. Look at that. That's yeah, it's got some warping down the bottom, but not bad. This is Justice League 50. Compared to his weapons, our atom bombs were like firecrackers.
Is that MODOK?
No, this is DC. MODOK's Marvel.
Oh.
Yeah, so this is the Lord of Time, apparently. So there's that. There's Justice League 63. Superman being boastful.
Do you want me to open it?
Here's Justice League 66. We don't stand a chance against the Dirty Half Dozen. And there was a movie called The Dirty Dozen that was, I think, out at probably at this time that they took that joke for. But that's number 66. Here's another 80-page giant special initiation issue. So that's number 67. Let's see.
What a special initiation
sorcery issue. That's where they would change the lineup of Justice League. So here's number 85. This is the all sorcery issue. Or if you're in England, I guess the all philosopher issue.
Is that why they're on his fingers?
Yep. Reader, this is a story about you. It's your turn to be either Superman or Batman. Number 89. So reader, are you ready? Mm-hmm. You know you want it, folks. So leave a comment or send me a message via eBay. That's number 94. Look at that. For a black cover, that's not so bad. The black covers are hard because they really show the wear around the edges. But this one, it does show some wear, but it's not bad. That's number 94.
Who's Liquid Lemonade guy?
I have no idea. Secret Origins of the Stand Man. Oh, that might be Dead Man, actually. That's number 96. The Cosmic Vampire. Number 97. I've doomed the best of the Justice League. Nothing can stop me now. Famous last words. But Justice League will find a way.
It is the Justice League of America.
There's number 98. I believe that, well, it says Sargon down here, so I believe this is Sargon the Sorcerer.
Is Starman in the Justice League? Is that why he keeps popping up?
Kind of. There are multiple iterations of Starman. So the Starman that I'm raving about is actually the son of the 1940s Starman. So it's still great.
There's a Starman.
So this is number 100. Wow, what a landmark issue. Not in bad shape. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Let's see, this is 101. The Hand That Shook the World. That's 102. For Earth to live, one of us must die. We nominate you. And here's a whole run now of 100 pagers for Justice League.
Oh.
This is 110. The Murder of Santa Claus, 1973. Who would do something like that? That's 110. This here's 112 with JLA summoned me to save them. Instead, I killed them. Well, that was mighty unneighborly. That's a Mazo. And of course,
100 pages for only 60 cents.
yeah, as I said before, these are probably has one original story and then a bunch of reprints, but still, it's pretty cool. This is 113. Excuse me. This is 114. A new novel-length adventure. This is 115. And 116. Matter Master. Very cool. A Joker story. What do you know about the Joker and other villains? If you want to find out, you'll have to buy.
Yeah.
All right.
Said every comic book store owner ever in 1960, whatever.
This is 1970s now.
Ah.
And this is 117. A former member demands to rejoin the Justice League. Demands. So they have to decide. More lineup changes. 118. The Earth is being invaded. And there's part 2 of that. Winter takes Earth.
Oh.
120. Parallel Perils of Adam Strange.
Nice
121.
alliteration there.
Yeah. Marriage of, I think that's Adam Strange and his wife. I forget what her name is. But
And most of all, J. Jonah Jameson Jr.
Aquaman is dead, and it's all our fault. Number 122. 123. So I'm going to go a little faster, just to 125 with Two-Face. And there's 126. And then we jump ahead a little bit. This is number 138. Here's Adam Strange again, but a really cool Neil Adams cover. And this one's not in great shape, but it's a really cool cover.
Enemy of Earth, huh?
Yeah. I always thought this was a really cool cover, too. This is Neil Adams. I remember this when I was a kid, and I thought this was a really cool cover.
Huh.
So here's that. That's 139, and this is 142. So these are giant size. Now they go back to regular size, and this, is not in great shape. Has a spine fold, and the staples are torn, and just not in good shape. But this is number 149. And that is 157. That's in pretty good shape. Supergirl appears. The Diabolical Siren.
Destroy the superheroines.
Heroines, really? Oh, yes. Yeah.
Must have been a bunch of female heroes.
So there's the Injustice Gang, Ultra. And he's fighting, Ultra is fighting the Injustice Gang.
The Injustice Gang. Yeah.
Here's Zatanna, number 164. That's 165. And they're fighting against phony warriors,
Who's
apparently.
Zatanna?
She's a magic user in the DC universe.
Yeah.
This is Justice League 172, which has a marker on here that is probably me writing my initials or something on the front page, but unfortunately. But an interesting cover. Here's Justice League of America. They're offering membership to Black Lightning, and he turns it down.
That definitely says Mike.
Yeah, 173. Here's 174. Let's see. This is 178, which may be a Jim Starlin issue, which Jim Starlin is the... he did a lot of work on... nope, Jerry Conway, Dick Dillon, so it was just Jim Starlin cover. But he did some Adam Warlock stuff, which also involved with Thanos. Here's Firestorm joining Justice League again, with me making sure everybody knows that it's mine.
Is that your handwriting or is that Bridget's handwriting?
That's mine. Justice League 180. Dance of Death. The dreaded Whitman. Not dreaded, actually. It's a cool variant. So
Uncle Walt again.
Yeah, the Whitman variant. JLA 181, because they don't put the numbers on the Whitman variants for some reason.
Huh.
And JLA 182 with an extra elongated man story.
Ooh.
Yep. And there he is. Crisis on New Genesis! So, Justice Society featuring the New Gods. And now we get into, I believe, the George Perez era. So, and then awesomeness personified, the All-Star Squadron. And I'm not even joking. The All-Star Squadron was a series that started apparently around this time, and this is where they first appeared. And so they would put 16-page inserts into the comics at the time. Just great stuff.
Huh.
I loved All-Star Squadron.
Is the 16-page insert in here right now?
Yeah. How's our video time?
10:02.
Yeah, we have time. So yeah, they put it in the middle of the book. So yeah, it's right in the story. So the story continues after a special insert, but here's the special insert, All-Star Squadron. And it's a whole new series, and it was really great. I mean, I think that all of this was reprinted in the first issue of the All-Star Squadron, but I can't remember exactly what it was. But there they are fighting Solomon Grundy. So this takes place during World War II.
Oh, Solomon Grundy.
Yeah, so this takes place during World War II. And these are the characters of that era. And they do such a really good job of
Trick or Treat.
of bringing this to life. So
Clayface.
Roy Thomas and Rich Buckler, co-creators. And then they give you a preview of the cover that's coming out, which was the first issue. And now we're back to the original story. So pretty cool. You know, you got two really cool stories for the price of one, and credit to DC. Great stuff. And again, I think I've blathered on about how great All-Star Squadron is, and I second that now. It's really one of my favorite series.
You're seconding yourself.
Yes, exactly. Seconded, Mike. This is Justice League 194, so we're closing in on 200, folks. Are you getting excited? There's 195. 196. The final showdown between the Secret Society of Supervillains and the Justice
The
League.
final countdown.
197. 211. Of course, we skipped from 197 to 211, so it's a big anticlimax. We don't even get to see 200.
It's kind of typical for
Yeah.
your collection, though.
213, 214, 215, great Atom story. 217 with a cool
Adam who?
Atom, ATOM, with a cool Infinity cover, you know, on 217. And there's 218. They're doing it again. 219, a Thunderbolt. This is a crossover with the Justice Society, so
Not to be confused with the Justice League
with
of America.
George Perez artwork, so that's always great. And 220, the original, the true origin of the Black Canary.
Oh,
Great
there
stuff.
we go. The Black Canary, huh?
Yep. And there's Justice League 247, randomly it went up to 250, but that's all I have from 220 to 250 here. Now, Justice League, the aforementioned Giffen and DeMatteis. Unfortunately, this is number 2. I think I have number 1 around somewhere, but there's number 2 again. Number 3. And I can't even emphasize how much I love this series. It was great. Justice League 4. So I have 2, 3, and 4.
That's an interesting view.
Yep. Now here's another Justice League relaunch, Jeff Johns. These are New 52, so that's 2014. And here's Justice League 3000. I believe I mentioned that earlier. Giffen and DeMatteis. When I say
That was
earlier,
in the speculator box.
yeah, when I
think.
say earlier, I'm referring to the speculator box with the video that preceded this one. So I can post a link so that you'll be able to know what I'm talking about when I say I mentioned this just before.
For us, it was literally like less than 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, so here's more of Justice League 3000. And if you're interested, and I would recommend it, Justice League 3000, then I may have nearly the whole series to offer, and that's 3000.
Of which series?
Of Justice League 3000. Between the two boxes, there's Justice League 3000, number 15. And this is great, a fourth wall break. But this doesn't happen in the book. Since when has that mattered? DC. Giffen and DeMatteis were always good for humor. They had great stuff. Now, number 1, Justice League Europe. Great stuff. Again, Giffen and DeMatteis came out while Justice League was going on, so it was 2 series at the same time. Just really great characters, really great stories, and a lot of good humor. I mean, Justice League Europe was just as good as the actual series.
Huh.
So,
Did it come out in Europe? Or?
it was American, but it was about the team having a branch in Europe, basically.
Huh.
And then there's Justice League Europe 2. And now here's Justice League Generation Lost by Judd Winick. And this, I believe, was a series that was based on the Giffen and DeMatteis series. And it had to do with Max Lord losing his mind and going crazy and erasing. I forget exactly what the story was, but it was just great to see a follow-up of these characters, even if it wasn't necessarily the most happy story. But And here's JLA, the relaunch by Grant Morrison. And there's number 2. I think I had number 1 in the speculator box, and I don't know if I had much else, but here's 1, 2, there's 3, there's 5, so that's good stuff. And last but not least, if it comes out, JLA and the Spectre Soul War. This time just DeMatteis, but he's still pretty good. So yeah, DeMatteis and the Spectre, and this is two of two or two of three. That's 2 of 2. So it's right there on the
it's 2
spine.
of 2.
So anyway, that's that. Cool stuff. So Justice League, that's great stuff. So we covered a whole bunch of stuff. We covered 60s, 70s, 80s, and then the new series and a couple of other related series. So oodles of Justice League stuff. If you're interested, please leave a comment below and say, hey man, I want to get some of those issues, and then you tell me which ones and we'll make a deal. And also you can contact me. I'll give you the link to my eBay page. You can send me a message and we'll work something out. So please let me know. If you want to buy something, I'm here for you. Thank you and have a great night.